self-care is not just your skincare.
Until, a young lady who opened the lip bar in the Bronx.
It was awful. So I must have avoided it for like years.
You are what you are seeking.
You are worth it.
Ladies,
Yes.
first of all, let me just say, before we even begin, y'all look good.
Thank you.
Y'all looking good. I'm loving the
Feeling
lipstick.
good.
I'm loving
Yes.
the colors.
That's it, springy.
Zip
You got it.
That's
You got
Okay,
it.
wait. So, welcome to the Three Ladies Podcast. I have to
Hi.
welcome everyone. And I want to introduce myself. I'm Keisha. This is MC.
MC.
That's Yo-Yo.
Hello.
They do not like peanut butter jelly and jam.
Oh, I don't know about that.
So I was thinking I have a new one.
Okay.
What about parsley, paprika, and rosemary? Because we're spicy.
That's a long title. Why is the three-letter
Beyonce has Sasha Fierce. I want to be paprika.
Okay, you can be paprika.
So I think we have it.
No, we're going to work on it.
Okay, we'll work on it.
But I do like peanut butter jelly and jam.
I like
I
that too.
do.
It rolls. But anyway, I want to say you ladies are looking good. I'm
Thank
loving
you.
the lipstick.
I just had to go out and treat myself, after hearing from Yo-Yo and her MVP lips. I had to go and get me some Fenty as well. I'm going to tell you, this Fenty Beauty, that is the Mai Tai lip stain, it's rocking.
Yeah, it looks.
I'm
It looks
loving
great on you.
It does.
I'm loving this.
It looks great on you.
And the other thing too is that I got the MVP too,
Okay.
but I was so surprised by the packaging.
All right. Yeah, take it
when
out.
I took
Let's
it
see.
out and found how
Very
beautiful
sexy, right?
the lipstick bottle was, I was like,
Yes.
wow.
It looks like those portable perfume
That
bottles.
is pretty.
does.
That is
it's
pretty.
much prettier, and I feel so special when I use it.
You look
Yes,
nice. Right away, I
yes.
recognized. I saw Yo-Yo, and I was like, oh.
Yes, honey.
Do
MVP Fenty. Rihanna's doing her thing with these lip stains.
Yes,
And
this is
even
the
yours.
This is
one
the older
pretty.
one. This is uncensored. This one is really good.
Yeah,
too.
that's pretty too.
That's very
See, I
pretty.
like cosmetics that look beautiful, sexy, because it gives you a certain feeling. Like,
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's not just something that you just whipped up, not some cheap casing to
Right.
it. It gives some kind
has
of
a sexy-
sophistication.
Like you feel like you're caring for yourself.
Self-care.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about it.
Okay.
So today we will be discussing self-care, ladies.
Yes.
But self-care is not just your skincare, going to the
hair.
spa. When you think of self-care, you may say, I'm going to go get my nails done. I want to go get a pedicure. I want to go to the
Right.
spa. But
Yes.
that is the micro side of
course.
self-care.
Okay.
There is a macro side. You will be getting homework and quizzed.
What?
Say what?
So take a look. This is the social ecological
What?
model.
No.
Listen, it is a multi-dimensional model.
I feel like
It's
I'm high
used
school.
to explain the behavior of self-care and showing you that self-care also leads into your interpersonal relationships. It leads into your community. It leads into your workspace. Even as far as your policy, what governs the state that you're in. So self-care is your relationships with your friends and how they pour into you and your support. At work, self-care is your supervisor, is a culture at the job where you feel supported and you're not overworked. And Ariana Huffington has nap pods.
Or you're compensated equivalent to what you're really providing.
Right. So there's a macro side of it. I'm not going to get too deep. I want to ask you,
Well, so what's the homework?
we're going to get to homework at the end, okay?
Okay,
And you
thank
will
God.
be quizzed, so you be ready.
Okay.
What is self-care to you when you hear that?
Okay, automatically, like you said, your mental self-care, your mental well-being, I should say, to me is pampering yourself. That's to me my self-care love language. I should say love language. And even the things I wear and put on, like I'm very specific on what I wear and what I wear should represent how how I am, how I feel, my style. To make a long story short, I remember days when I would just buy things because it was on sale, not necessarily because it flattered me or
Okay.
was my style, but that's what I can afford. So I would just buy those things. Now I'm very purposeful. Colors. I know what colors look good on me.
Okay.
I know what clothes fit me well. Back in the days, I used to buy Hanes underwear. You know those packages, like you get the 6 or the 4 in the
Oh,
packages?
yeah.
Them some ugly drawers. I'm not sorry. Them some ugly drawers.
That's true.
But I bought them because they were on sale, and at the time, that's what I can afford. Now, honey, woo. Not to say that Victoria's Secret is the end all, because there's some sexy lingerie out, but I'm very purposeful, even down to my underwear. That's
Okay.
what I mean by self-care.
Okay. What does self-care mean to you, MC?
Well, I agree with you, Yo-Yo. For me, I really didn't get in touch with that for a very long time. I think for me, it came slowly because a young woman growing up as an overweight person who constantly felt like it was safer to disconnect from my body. I think I came to my own personal self-care very late in my life. And so many times I'd be, like it didn't matter.
Right.
But when I really started to step back in therapy and really reflect on, why am I ignoring this factor? I decided on designing sort of a ritual to get in touch with myself.
Okay.
So I have this morning ritual where it's important that I do some stretching. I make sure I take a shower and I pay attention to my body and moisturize, and then I make a little ritual where I maybe do a meditation with some candles or some incense. I do some journaling. I then do some makeup. I used to not ever wear any makeup, and now I'm making a point of spending a time with myself, just being present to my own physical being and giving it attention. And I'm hoping, over time I've added some stretching and some little yoga poses. And then after I do that, it's taking a walk the dog and just kind of really being present to me
Okay.
in the morning, so that I'm connected to how I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, how's my body feeling.
Right.
And I think that kind of gets me more in touch with self-care.
Okay.
And I think that's what still I'm challenged by,
Right.
but I'm better.
Good.
I'm better.
It's a process,
It
definitely.
is.
And I've learned from looking into self-care, because I was saying the same thing. I go to a spa and I get my nails done. But now I'm realizing it's more to self-care. It's my tribe. It's the people that I surround myself with, the people that are going to pour into me. It's like I said, when you're at work, the culture at work, you're not going to stay at a job where you don't feel supported and it's toxic. That's all part of your self-care. It extends out. So for me now, that's what I'm looking into. It's more than just the products that I go buy or...
But don't you think it's hard? Let's say you're someone, I've been in this position. I have a job, it's paying me well, but maybe the boss is someone that's really difficult to work with. So I recognize there's some toxicity there. In fact, many times I would say this prayer, silent prayer, okay, I'm surrounding myself in love, I'm surrounding my boss in love, and that I'm coming into this meeting with love. And that would somehow make me feel better because it was a struggle. But some people have similar situations. They're kind of financially needing to be in that job because it provides for their family, it provides for themselves. And so, how do we still manage some self-care? So I sort of found boundaries,
Right.
I have
That's
a
what I was
boundary.
thinking.
With
So
any
boundaries,
relationships,
In
work, personal,
Yep.
Family, spouse, friendships, setting boundaries, knowing that, okay, please don't cross this threshold because
Right.
we're never going to come back from this.
Exactly.
And then, like Keisha was saying, removing yourself from certain situations that you feel as though that's not feeding your soul.
It's
That's
not.
not positive. And I think in this day and age with social media, there's so much out there.
Oh.
There's so much out there. So now I realize that, okay, I don't watch news often.
No.
And I
That is
don't
so
watch
depressing.
anything negative before I go to sleep.
No.
Right.
And if anything, I make sure that I have something positive or lighthearted or something funny. I'm very much of a, I like humor. So
Yeah.
I find that when
wanna
I'm in
laugh.
a funk,
Right.
Uh-huh.
I like to choose humor because that brings me out of that funk,
Oh, me
Right.
too.
you know? So, and to also talk about self-care, we talked about products and stuff like that. I think therapy is another
Oh.
great form of self-care.
You need
Yes.
that. You
And
need
Yes.
it.
I started seeing a therapist last year, and again, I used to be of the mindset that, oh, you have to have an issue to see a therapist, but you don't
No,
necessarily
no.
need a therapist because you have an issue. Just talking to someone who's neutral, who's listening and can be empathetic goes a long way. So
Being
Sometimes
able
I
to
think by
handle-
hearing myself out loud,
saying that
I actually hear it
yes.
better as well. You
Right.
know?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, wow, that's really what I think. Huh.
Right.
I'll be darned.
Right. Yeah.
It's true. It's true.
Yes.
And looking at my chart,
With a lot of notes.
Wow.
a lot of notes.
lot of notes.
So again, you talked about relationships and feeling supported and finding your tribe, and we talked about it goes even further into your community as far as, let's say, like the stores in your community. We was in Baltimore one time driving around. My mom was in Johns Hopkins Hospital, so we were in the area. They didn't have supermarkets. They had like the little delis, a little
Mom
chicken.
and pop shops.
Yeah, but I'm like, to feed yourself, you have to be able to eat properly. So certain areas didn't even have the proper foods so that you can take care of yourself.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean about self-care. It extends all the way out, and that's why it goes into policy. Who's governing the state? Like, we need to advocate. So self-care for me now has moved into a different space. It's not just getting my hair done, my nails done.
It's nurturing every part of
It's
you.
every part of your body. Yes.
Right. The food that you take in.
The foods that you take, your diet, your
Right.
exercise, your
Yeah.
tribe.
Right. There was a big push in New York because when the bookstores closed, it was like, where's the bookstores? They're only in
Right.
certain neighborhoods.
Things
Right.
like that.
And they're not in urban settings.
Right.
Until, a young lady who opened the Lip Bar in the Bronx said, you know what, we need a bookstore.
Yeah.
Now there's another two young ladies called Lock and Lit.
Oh, wow.
They're on the journey to open a bookstore too. They're doing pop-up shops and books. So to your
That's
point,
important.
literacy is very important.
Yes.
The food that we take in is very important, not just
Right.
the way we look. Also, counseling our minds.
Your mental health. Is
And then the
so
physical
important.
aspects, moving around.
Oh,
Right.
gosh.
Right.
Gym memberships are exorbitantly expensive.
It
but,
is.
walking is free.
If you can walk, if you
Yeah.
can just go get some air, like
Yes.
Well, and also too, brain health. Movement is key to brain health.
correct.
If you're going to have longevity, you're going to have ideas that can stay in your head, that you can keep clear thinking, you don't get confused, you don't get, potentially at risk for dementia.
Right.
Movement is the key.
Very
It is
important.
the key. And so you can take anything on the YouTube's got free movement. You can move with anything.
Right.
In your home with, weights that are water bottles.
Right.
Your laundry detergent bottle.
Yes.
You can
You
do
could
anything.
you could sit on your couch up and
Yeah.
down.
Yep.
Just
Yeah.
like
It
you
doesn't
said,
matter.
Get that little
So
exercise.
movement
in
is
20 minutes.
definitely key for self-care.
And physical examinations.
Oh,
yes.
yeah, that.
You must.
You don't
Check
go to the
that.
doctor just because you're sick.
No.
That's
Go
just
get
true.
your yearly annual physical,
That is
Yes.
important.
Yes.
Thank
including
you.
for men.
Yeah.
Let me say
hello.
that out loud for the people in the back. Men, you need
Go.
get your annual physicals.
Right.
Very
Don't wait
important.
till that cough bemes hacking
Right.
before you go.
And say, what am I coughing up?
Yes.
Really? That
Yes.
was your lungs.
Well,
Right?
it's like all of those things take planning and setting aside the time.
Right.
And I think if we do that for ourselves, like I know
Right.
for me, for my physicals and medical stuff, I do
Right.
it around my birthday.
Me too. That's my birthday gift to myself.
See, me too.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes. So you never forget it.
You
Right.
never forget it. And
Right.
so, you plan that around your birthday.
Yes.
You get your eyes checked, you get your whatever.
Mammogram,
Thank
pap
you.
smear,
Physical.
everything.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Teeth,
talking about.
everything.
Everything.
All of it. All of it
Exactly.
done. So you get it out the way, and you know, some people I know are fearful to go because they may fearful of what
They
they
don't
might
know
find.
what they're
Well,
gonna find.
Yes.
I was one of those people. I hated going to the gynecologist. Frankly, it was awful. So I must have avoided it for from I don't know, years, until finally, because of therapy, I
Right.
was able to face that fear,
Right.
make that appointment with a very safe gynecologist,
Right.
and get over it. But it took time.
Well, I think
took
it's a
time.
lot of women's fear. It's because of those tools. They bring out that drawer, and then you hear the clink, 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 the metal, and then you're like, it's the same thing with dentists. They bring out
Oh,
that
yeah.
drawer, and it clink, 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 clink with the
Oh,
metal,
yeah.
and then you like white knuckles. You're like,
But if you have a good person who is your dentist or your gynecologist,
right,
and you tell them, listen,
Right.
this all makes me afraid. They can come to this moment with you and say, listen,
Right.
I'm
They
gonna
know.
I'm gonna talk to you before I do anything.
Right.
Man, do you know how much that reassures me?
A real doctor should be explaining as he's
Yes.
going. I shouldn't say a real doctor, but
to make you feel comfortable.
Right. They
Yes.
should be explaining as they go along. This is what's going to happen, and this is what you're going to feel. And
They just need to. They just
Exactly.
need to revamp that whole procedure. There should be a way with those metals.
guess what?
Because what?
That's part of self care. Advocating for
What you
Right.
need.
change.
Yep.
For not
Okay.
just you, but for everybody.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
I
Very
think
important.
if if they look more like Idris Elba, I wouldn't feel.
Also, now we're going to do Idris
certain
Elba.
way.
Okay.
Listen,
I'll go like every 2 weeks
Just
Listen,
to
girl.
see Idris the doctor.
just to go
Okay.
get my checkup.
Why don't you bring the Idris Elba mindset?
Okay.
It don't work because they
Yeah.
don't.
Because my doctor don't look like him.
No, it don't. No, I'm
But-
telling you, if they start looking like that,
You show up yearly.
the healthcare crisis would just everybody would be healthy.
You just fix the problem. That,
Right. That's what I'm gonna advocate for.
Wow.
Okay.
But
well,
ladies-
let me know when you make that happen.
Ladies, what are your key takeaways as far as self-care?
I
Don't
think
let me pull out my chart again.
I'm about to say, did you assign the homework? Is there homework?
I'm
to
going to
this?
give it to you. We'll check back in.
All right. So I guess my key takeaway is that let self-care be physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, and it doesn't have to start all at once, but just make a cognate effort to do something for yourself each time, and I mean by each time, each day, even if it's just wearing a lipstick, that day just to feel good, or maybe listening to a podcast or a show or a YouTube video that's inspiring, do that, or a book, anything that's going to move you in that direction, because it's just small steps that create the biggest impact.
Right.
I think for me, I always hear Viola Davis's voice saying, "You are worth it." And so when I hear her voice, it almost brings me to tears because
She's really inspiring.
she is. And
Yes.
for a long time, I don't think I felt worth it.
Oh, honey, you are.
Yes, you
And
are.
I think it's like
yeah.
giving myself the time and the attention.
Right.
Yes, and you are.
And look at you looking fabulous.
Exactly.
I know,
With
but
your
that
fancy
Fenty
lipstick.
I think that's what's the hardest thing
Yeah.
is to realize that
Yes.
for so long,
Right.
I didn't feel worth it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now
Right.
I'm feeling more worth it than I
That's
ever
it.
have before.
And that's the
see
key,
it.
the fact
I
that
see
you
it.
feel it.
Right. That's
Nobody's
how it starts.
telling you, but you are feeling
It
it.
starts with
Yes.
self.
Inside.
It-
Yes.
starts with
and,
self.
and it is a mindset where you
Yes.
have to think, okay, if I'm worth it,
Yes.
then that means it's my choice to take the time and attention to
Yes.
go to the store,
Yeah.
to pick out something I really like,
Yes.
to say, yes, I'm worth it to start my day with what I like and want to do. I'm worth it to wear the clothes I feel good in. And I think that's
Right.
That's hard.
That's
Got
the
this,
biggest
girl.
thing.
You got
Yeah,
it. You
Yes.
got it.
Yes.
that's hard.
That's
And when
good.
you do feel worth it, you attract the energy around
Yes.
you.
You are what you're seeking? Is that the same
You are what you are seeking.
thing? Did I say that right?
What you are seeking? What you are seeking is seeking you.
Yes.
That's what I meant to say.
Yes.
And I'm going to piggyback off of what both of you ladies said, but I want to extend it a little further. If you're in the position, let's say at your job, as a leader, as a director, let's bring the culture in where it's self-care, taking care of each other, helping each other out. Be supportive of your friends. I just want to say self-care is not, yes, it starts with the individual, but remember,
You
there's
can
a macro
teach people.
side, right?
You can
It's
teach
bigger
people.
than just getting your hair done. Makeup.
Right.
That was my
Right.
point.
Yes.
And you passed the test, so you don't have homework. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Both of you ladies
Well,
passed.
it's important when you're working with people to acknowledge that they're a whole person too. They
That's
have
right.
grandparents, they have husbands, they
Right.
have children,
That's
Right.
all
they
part
have
of it.
themselves, and that
Yes.
they can only show up at work as healthy and whole as they're showing up at
Right.
home.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's
And
important.
I'm concerned
Right.
about that.
Right.
And you passed the test too.
Thank you.
All right.
Yes.
So no homework,
Very good.
but we will be working on the names. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
That sparkly parsley, whatever.
So the
word.
Three Ladies podcast is not a name enough.
No, that's perfect. But we need that. What's Sasha
Oh, we
Fierce?
need that little
What is that for Beyonce? Her what?
alter ego.
So that's what I was thinking. Paprika.
Okay.
We
Okay.
spicy.
I'll go with peppermint.
You want peppermint?
Now
and
we tea.
paprika?
Now we going from seasonings to tea.
All right, we'll work on it. Thank you for joining us at
Yes.
the Three Ladies Podcast. We're still the Three Ladies Podcast. Please subscribe,
Yes, like.
like,
Share.
share. Join us.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Thank you.